This is my RFB jacket. You guys remember when I went into Walmart live, right? I don't know why I deleted some of these videos. I guess because I didn't want to get any more copyright strikes. But I went in live, and I remember somebody saying, "No, don't do it!" And I went in there anyway with the RFB. I had the jacket, but I'm saying as I went in with the RFB shirt, the orange one, and I'm talking to you, and the guy was like, "What are you doing? We don't record it or something." And he kind of kicked me out of the store. Yeah, that was the days of I was a little out of control, a little bit. I mean, look, sometimes it's just let my sense of humor get the best of me, and I'll just go with it, and whatever happens, happens. But this is actually my dad's jacket. It's my dad's jacket. It's my dad. My dad left it. My dad. He tried telling me about this stuff when he was alive. About World War III. It was kind of like, in a sense, it kind of got me a little worried. But it opened up my eyes to an extent. But I mean, you know, he believed that, just like I thought politicians were like, I didn't know they were actors. Like back then, I didn't think so. Now I know better. They're all actors. So why would you blow JFK's head off when he's an actor? But my dad was the only one. My dad was the only one that I could actually talk to about my weird ideas. And then same with my weird brother, the older one, the stubborn one that doesn't know anything. I mean, he knows a lot. I'm sorry. He doesn't know anything about the spiritual end of things. But he would talk to my dad too. And my dad, well, he knew how to talk to everybody. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He knew how to talk to people that had different opinions and views and not argue with them. And that's what I realized that he passed down from me, is doing the same thing. So it's just another, now that I know I am running for a position, I'm going to just keep reminding you of what the things that I can remember or think of that is part of being on my resume that you guys don't have already. So if you want to jot it down, you can jot it down, or you can just keep it up here and know that I've treated my enemies pretty fairly, don't you think? I treated them very fairly. I've even given them presents and heaped treasures of coal on their head. I mean, well, yeah, to me it's a treasure. Heaping coals on your head is a treasure in heaven. I don't even know why I said it was a treasure, but now I realize it is. You know, I've given some people a few things. Glop has given me a Bible and the Enoch book, and I still appreciate that. And yeah, I gave Gary the rotten mayonnaise. You know, which, hey, look, I'll give you a brand new Kensington bottle of mayonnaise, Gary, when this is all over, okay? But right now, you know, you get what you get, because it symbolizes something that I didn't know at the time, but it fits perfectly. Sure, son, it fits perfectly. And then I gave the satyrs, you know, I remembered it. It was before May 21st of 2018, and I'm like, man, I hope they get it. I was almost hoping nothing happened because I wanted to see them get the gifts first. I remember, I don't know which date it was. I probably had to look at the video, but it was, I sent it around the the 70th year anniversary of the nation of Israel becoming a nation again, May 14th. Which ironically is the date that my dad passed away. He fell asleep on May 14th of 2013. Yeah, 2013. Because I talked to him about Harold Camping and warning people about Judgment Day, and he just said the same thing. No man knows the day or the hour. And I'm like, yeah, well, when you look at it at the sense where no man knows the day or the hour when Christ returns in their own life, that is true. Nobody ever knows that, except for this time around. I'm telling you guys when yous are going to turn to Christ, okay? So I'm kind of telling you when he's coming. I'm kind of telling you when you guys are all going to turn to him. The ones that haven't. The ones that pretend that they did and they didn't. Could I be wrong? Of course. But could I be right? Yes. There's a possibility. Look, my track record shows I've gotten some wrong and I've gotten some right. It's being hot or cold. It's the way it is. It's the way you're supposed to be. That's the way God prefers it. But you can't let anybody phase you, because you are your own worst enemy, aren't you? It's like when you know that Satan has a residence and God has a residence where either or you can act out either one of them at any given time. But what you try to do is act out the God way more once you finally turn to him, and then he changes your heart. That he has to change your heart first. So once that happens, then you start following that way more often than none. So I'm just going to keep adding to my resume because don't you want somebody in charge that can get along well with others? I mean, that's a key. It's a key. It's like the key of David. It's one of the keys that David has. It's a key of being able to treat, see, here's the thing. Once all this happens and everything changes, I don't have to convince anybody who God is anymore. Everybody's going to already know. Now, the only thing I have to do is continue to tell you about God. I can continue to tell you about God, and so can Steve. He can help tremendously with all of the knowledge that he has that I don't. But until 7 times passes over, I'm not willing to work together. You know what I mean? That's why it's important that those 7 days do happen. That's why I'll be praying. I mean, I will. Trust me, I will be for everybody. Come the time when that sun goes that way and then goes back that way, and everybody's like, no, everybody's like this at first. And then they're like, and then we get to see, we get to see that vision that I had, and I continue to have, that I can't wait for it to. It's like deja vu. It's like that. It's like, when is that deja vu feeling going to happen again? I know it's going to happen. Just what date is it going to happen on? So if anything, if I'm guilty of anything, it's getting a date wrong, not the event. Because the event, oh man, oh man, that event. What else can I add to my resume? I've shown you, leaders, how I treat my enemies, and then knowing, and you guys are considered my enemies. just because we don't have the same exact heart. I'm not making you my enemy, but you guys are making me your enemy. So after this is all done and there are no more enemies, don't you think I deserve at least a vote? You know, don't I at least deserve to be nominated? I mean, I'm trying to be kind and saying, can I? You know, but can I at least get a nomination for rulership of spreading the wealth? I want to be in that position. And I also, I would have never thought, and I'm dead serious, of course. I mean, I know I joke around a lot, but I'm actually dead serious. Because I could see something that's getting ready to take place that I don't think anybody else can. But it's a damn good message, ain't it? I don't see how anybody can't benefit with the vision that I see. Because nobody gets hurt. Like that. Just like the 150 days, the 5-month period, you know, the scorpions coming up from the ground, right? They're commanded to hurt people, but not kill them. I'm telling you the same thing is going to happen right shortly thereafter those 150 days. Yep. So it's the same thing. I'm telling you, nobody's getting killed. And I've been saying this. And I've been saying this for over a year and a half, that 7 billion people are going to be saved. They're going to turn to God. I didn't know how. I had no clue why. I just said it because I felt it. And then I start searching and looking and seeing more and more places in the Bible where it actually confirms that. Not only that, it actually even goes deeper and confirms that the elite will turn to God. The remnant. Yeah, you guys are going to be frightened somehow, some way. I've come to the conclusion that it's going to be God flicking your switch. And you guys might be the only ones that know that. Well, besides me. But, I mean, like, you know, you guys might be the only ones that know. But once you guys turn to God, well, you're going to go back to the person that told you that was going to happen to you, and you're going to ask questions. You're going to want to know, right? I mean, wouldn't you want to go to the source and say, "Hey, yo, come here, Rob. Hey, you were freaking right, man. You want to like spread our wealth around to the world? I mean, whatever you want, Robin. You want a ZL1? Sure. Hey, look, here, take it. I mean, it's all yours." Yeah, I'm serious too. I'm serious about that. You know, I think everybody deserves to have everything that everybody else does. Don't you think so? Because the elite, they share everything with their friends and family. Family, I'm trying to tell you that we're the adopted family, and we're adopting you guys into our family. It just so happens that you have all the wealth. It's not a requirement that you have all the wealth for us to adopt you into our family. The requirement is a change of heart. Change of heart, you become part of the family. But see, a lot of people in that family, they've turned and went in a different direction. Technically, they never turned because they were always in that other direction. They were just pretending to be in my direction. That's fine. I understand. I forgive you for it. I really do. So again, that's part of my resume. I've already forgiven everybody who has lied. Did you lie? Did you lie about who you are and who you work for and who you're associated with and whose script you're reading? Huh? Anybody out there lie about that? Well, then you know I'm talking about you. But it's all right, because I invited you guys to the party that, you know, they don't know that we're coming yet. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you guys, we're coming. We're going to be there. That party starts June 1st down in Miami at Trump's International Beach Resort, that he is going to open up the doors for us. And he's not going to have a problem doing it as soon as he has a change of heart. I'm trying to help him change that heart by letting him know it's going to happen before it happens. That way I could say, I told you so. I told you it was going to happen. Now, let's enjoy the rest of our lives sharing with everybody. It's going to feel freaking great. Think about how cool that's going to be when, look, Steve, I'm even telling you, invite Richie from Boston, he's invited. Everybody that's on YouTube is invited. Every subscriber that I have that has watched is invited. Whoever you guys are, Steve, Trump, you guys know who they are. You know that you have their address, you have their information, you know who watches my videos. You know who agrees, who doesn't. You guys know. So, that's going to be freaking really fun to basically reminisce about everything, and at the same time, I'm cool, man. Everything's cool. Like it's all water under the bridge. It's fine. I know how to forgive as it's happening. It's like, yeah, I already forgive that. I already forgive you. I do. Because I see something that you don't see. That's it. And you think you see something that I don't see. Rabin likes to make predictions. Well, I got a prediction for you, Rabin. Let's see whose prediction comes true. Well, I think they're both going to come true. I think they're both going to come true. Yours comes true first. Mine comes true afterwards. So that's pretty funny. So yeah, to get to meet everybody face to face, finally, it's going to be pretty damn cool. And I got to be honest, man, I'm like always, I never thought I would literally speak to people face to face like I'm getting ready to. So that's why I'm getting prepared to do it. And I realized that YouTube was the platform to get me prepared to do it. It has live feed where you can go live, you can talk to people live, and so that's how I got comfortable with you guys, even my enemies. And you've seen how I treated my enemies. Yeah, sometimes I get a little out of control, but for the most part, you know, I don't hold any grudges for anybody. Even Derek, as blind as he is, it's fine, Derek. I understand. You're like my little brother. That's, you know what I'm saying? My little brother. The elite are like my older little brothers. They're like my oldest brother, William, because he's almost 50. Man, he doesn't even seem like he's 50. I don't feel like I'm 42. I feel like I'm 42. I just don't feel like I look like I'm 42. I don't know how you're supposed to look at the age of 42, to be honest with you. I guess you're supposed to look older. Well, I mean, because you see his skin so smooth. He says he's 41. That, you know, look at the way his eye movements are. Robotoid. He's like, look at that shit, man. He locked up. Steve, that's hilarious that you got that guy to do that video. Because I see how on your screen, when you kind of like smush my head or something. I'm not sure what it is that you do, but you kind of make me look a little bit like my head is more squished than what it really is. And I noticed that it was the same way on that Robotoid video that dude did. And then I see how you know, when you got the rope around my neck like that, it's like the same type of editing. It's crazy, like how they know to do that. So, yeah, so my resume, I'm just going to build off of that for now on. Because I know that something's getting ready to take place that, well, I don't think anybody else believes. And I say it knowing that if you listen to, like, the doubt that you have in your head, you're listening to your own worst enemy. Who's your own worst enemy? Well, it's Satan talking to you whispering to you about, you're wrong, you're not this, no, come on, you don't even know what you're talking about. Rob, stop. I've battled that demon and kicked his ass. So he's out. He's out of my head. He's out of my influence of, and he's been out for a while now. So only if I listen to that negative still voice, then I won't feel confident. But because I do feel confident, and I know that I'm faithful, and it definitely is a time of trouble. There's a time of trouble, not for me, not for us, not for the ones that know. There's a time of trouble coming for the people that look. When you're deceived and you're like, and then you all of a sudden understand. Only then will you turn to God and understand. Oh, I see, God. Now I know. I didn't know it first. All right, so I think I covered how I handle not only my enemies, but the people that I love and the people that I don't even know, and strangers on the streets. I want to give to everybody. And I have a feeling, a tremendous feeling, that I'm getting ready to. In like more abundant than I've ever imagined. And I never thought that, like when I thought we were going to skip up out of here and float away, I'm thinking, good, because I don't want to be on Earth anymore. I don't kind of even like people. They're freaking annoying. And then I start realizing that, like, wait a minute. I'm literally asking for this. You know how throughout a lot of my videos, I've said, like, all right, you know what? I get what I deserve because I asked for it. I get this because I asked for it. I asked for people's numbers to communicate. I tried to gather people together. And then once I get backstabbed, it's like, okay, I asked for it, didn't I? And then I asked to get my message to somebody that needed to listen because I was sick of the news lying to me. And but I never imagined that it would get to actually the exact people that I needed it to get to, and it did. So because in my own life that this is actually happening, and I'm realizing it, I do sit there and contemplate and think, like, holy shit. Sorry, God, but it's like looking at crap on the ground, and it literally has holes in it, like perfect diameter 1-inch holes. You're like, holy shit, that is amazing. Like, just like that. So that's kind of how I see it. And then it's like, man, I know how people think that there's a delusion in my head. Then I also know how the elite think that they know it's not a delusion. They'll tell other people it's a delusion, but they know damn well they're the ones that know the truth. They're the ones that know, just like Satan knows the truth, but he's turning from it. He has all of the information. He knows that Bible is true, 100%. He's just not telling his vessels that it's true. So it's coming true, verse by verse, day by day. Even my situation. I'm just saying it like it is, and I'll be damned if it just doesn't continue to follow through and happen. It just happens, and it keeps happening. So yeah, I'm going to treat everybody the way that you would want to be treated. The way that you treat yourself, that's how I'm going to treat you. Everybody. So I feel like that's a good qualification to have to add to my resume. And the part about not being deceived about pretty much anything else ever again, when I said Robin Tees is deceived for the last time when I wrote it in the book of Gematria, it's in there. I meant it. I meant it. I'm just building off of it, continuing. And the best part is this. Who else out there, Steve, knows who you are, right? Without knowing who you are. Like, in other words, I don't know your real name. I don't know where you really live. I have a feeling you do have a wife, and I think 3 kids, if I'm not mistaken. I think you have 2 girls and a boy. I'm sure your house is freaking phenomenal. And I'm sure you built it too. I would be willing to bet that you had your hands in on building that house. Wasn't that fun? That's all I want to do too, you know. But I don't want to do it right now, the way that the earth is right now. I want to do it when everybody's good. You know what I mean? When everybody's good. Sometimes I forget that Trump is a builder. And I just look at him as an actor president. And I forget, it's like, no, wait a minute, he has the same interest that I have. I love building too. I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it for money. I wouldn't do it for money. But everybody has to have the same mindset, or else you can't get away with doing it without money. And then you're a builder too, Steve. So I've worked for a lot of builders, and I know them personally, just like you know Trump personally. And I start to get it now. When you're all in the same fraternity, because Trump's like 70, right? And you're 51. Well, so when he was like 50, you were like 30. And when you see him in the meetings and stuff, and you look up to him, and I can see how you can have a connection with the people you work with. But I'm wondering, to be a 33rd degree, do you, like Trump, did he start when he was 33? Like, did he really start his career when he was 33? Because that's kind of what it seems like. And then he gets, what does he get, 40 years? Yeah, I think so. So when he's 73, I don't know how old he is. I think he's around there. So I think when you're 33, you go in and you can run for 40 years, and then, because you're like the major main like guy or whatever, in charge of like being the face man. And then you see him progress. So yeah, I can see where, you have similarities, and he could be your pretty good buddy. And I'm sure he's a pretty cool dude when it comes to being the good you, not the other you. So I'm sure Trump can appreciate that, my resume also, especially with the change of heart. And I'm gonna accept your guys' resume too. And look, I can forgive for everything that was done because that's what Christ does, right? I mean, isn't that what doesn't he forgive everybody? Even Tyler said it, if somebody even kills, like, I don't know, one of your family members, you gotta forgive them. Yeah, just continue to let them do it. Continue on, but forgive them all the time. I agree with it, I agree, but I seen where that was. I could see again, Steve. This is part of my resume. I seen through it. I see through it, and I don't even work for that side, and I can see straight through it. And that's only something that you guys know. Nobody else knows that. Just you guys. So discernment, as in leadership, well, yeah, you can't be deceived by anybody. So who else has this information that you guys know of on YouTube? That's the other thing. I don't know that either. I don't know of anybody else that's thinking the way that I do with every single possible thing imaginable that's going to happen when it comes to the Bible being played out, who you are, Steve, who you really are, not who you're saying you are. There's always two sides of the story, and a third, and a fourth. I'm telling you who you are, and I'm telling you who Trump is, and I'm telling you who I am. And I'm telling you the way that Christ forgives people, no matter what it is that you've done, even as you're trying to kill me. I'm already forgiving you for it. So you don't have to. You don't even have to. I've already forgiven you for murdering me. And if it happens, then just know that I've already forgiven you for it, because you don't know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. I mean, you know what you're doing, but you don't know what you do. I would hire somebody like me, for sure. Especially when they're asking to be in charge of the most, like the biggest responsibilities on planet Earth. I'm kind of ready for it now, and I wasn't like 2 months ago. Now I am. I'm telling you, when my knowledge increases, then I go with the flow of where I'm at, and I keep getting confirmation after confirmation that it's the absolute right direction I got to go. So I've let go of any anger for anybody, anywhere on planet Earth, because Earth is going to abide forever. The meek will inherit the earth. We're all going to be meek as soon as God flicks the switch. Flicking the switch might be something else than what I think it is. But for now, I'm going to stick with God's going to flick the switch. Whether it's a literal switch, whether it's a spiritual switch, whether it just flicks a switch in your brain because of something else that he has in store, I'm going to tell you it's going to be electric. So he's going to flick the switch. And when he flicks that switch, your mind is going to be like, bing! And you're like, oh, I see where I'm going now. Durr! And that's when you guys are like, hey, Rob, I got to tell you, man, I got to tell you, you're right, man, you're right. Like, yeah, well, thank God for that, right? Now let's gather everybody and let's